Disclaimer. Information presented is for educational purposes only, and the opinions expressed are those of the presenter only. All trades presented are not traded in a live account and should be considered as hypothetical. Risk disclosure. Futures, forex and stock trading contain substantial risk and are not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Hypothetical performance disclosure. Hypothetical performance results have many inherent limitations, some of which are described below. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or similar losses to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they can generally be prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk of actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or to adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in the preparation of hypothetical performance results, and all which can adversely affect trading results.
Hello everybody, I'm Roger. This is the Precision Index Oscillator, otherwise known as the Pi-Oscillator, or Pi-Osc for short. And this is MetaTrader 4 platform, and this is the FTSE 100. The indicator is very complicated in its construction, but it's very simple to use. So there's a highlight here which indicates it's at an extremity or an extreme point which is likely to snap back, and the blue highlight here is also an extremity on the other side, oversold. You don't always go from red to blue and blue to red. So for example, here there was a peak, but it didn't trigger a red line as this peak did. This is quite hard to explain, so I won't even try. Here we've got a bounce which led to a nice move up, and there's a bounce which led to a move down, and there's another one here. And the rule is to wait for the bounce. Sometimes these stay locked at minus 3.14 or at plus 3.14, and this happens when the market goes into a long-term trend. Call it the Pi trundle, where it just trundles along the bottom for a long time, and taking trades while they're trundling is a very, very bad idea, and you could quickly run into all kinds of trouble. The product is designed to be used with stop losses because not every signal works. This is AUD CAD on an M1, that means 1 minute. And here's a bounce off the low, which is pretty much the ideal type of signal. It bounced off and we had a nice move up all the way up here, and then we have another bounce there which didn't actually signal a big reversal. It looks like it's going to keep going up, but it sometimes signals when something's going to slow down or stop. The buy signals are generally more reliable than the sell signals. This is often because the market nature is asymmetrical, particularly with stocks and futures. Quite slightly less likely that the sell signals are less reliable when you use forex. This is CAD versus JPY. Again, this is an M1 chart, and earlier there was a nice bounce off this extreme point here, and a bit later today there was a bounce off this low. It didn't go up very far, and they don't always go up very far, but there's usually quite a high probability that the Market will reverse when it hits one of these and bounces off it. Starting off with MT4 in this video because this platform has automatic downloads and free trials, so you can get to try this indicator free on MT4 or MT5. I also support NinjaTrader, multi-charts trade station, and recently TradingView. So we'll look at some of those in a little while. This is a 1 minute chart of Bitcoin versus the US dollar. And earlier this morning, today's 27th of September 2024, just around 20 past 10, there was a nice bounce and the market moved down quite a fair bit. And here, just about 12:30, there was a bounce, a Pi bounce off this low here. Again, didn't move up very far, retraced and went up again. And then there was a couple of bounces off the high. And we've got another bounce here, which has yet to be resolved. This is forex this time. This is EURCAD M1. And Precision Index Oscillator's got alerts put in for you, so you can get a little noise popping up in this window. This just says it's just crossed above Pi. So that's the buy signal just here. And there was a sell signal here when it bounced down. As you can see, these ones didn't work. Let's just close this a minute. They don't always work. So here you would say there's a valid bounce. But the price didn't do anything. So it's a good idea to wait for the price to do something after the bounce. So here, that's much better because it's taken us like a 5 or 6 bar low. And here we've got a little bounce. But taking it blindly, especially if you're in the wrong direction against a major trend, generally is not a good idea. This time, this is the British pound against the Singapore dollar. And I'm shifting to H1, which is a 1 hour. And here's a nice signal, which could have been taken around here or here after a little bit of strength has been observed. Again, it didn't move up much. You can never tell. Some of these would be complete reversals of a major trend. Some of them just are small rallies, and some of them don't work at all. Like this one, this is pretty standard. Just a little move down, just enough to get a few points. This one here kind of worked for a moment and then it failed. It's generally advisable to use a stop loss, something between 3 and 5 ATRs. To find the place to get the free trial, go to precisiontradingsystems.com, look for this icon logo, click on MetaTrader, scroll down, and you'll find this product. Click here. There's some more screenshots and a few video clips. And scroll down, and then you'll see this link. Click the link there. That takes you into the MT4 marketplace, where you can see the product. I'm going to shift to another platform, but first I'll show you a couple more examples in MT4. This is the S&P 500 futures, and this whole section, there's no signals. This is not something that signals all the time because we're looking for extremities. And by definition, extremities are things that don't happen very often. So don't be emailing me complaining there's no signals like some people do. I have no control over the market. So here is a sell signal which went down nicely. And there's another one which went down nicely. That was earlier this morning. And there's a buy signal here which went up nicely. And I think there's a few more. So there's nothing at all here. There's no signals unless there's a highlight. This one didn't go up much, but it did go up. Now there's an example of a trundle, which I mentioned earlier. So if you're stupid enough to hit this as a short, as soon as it's at the extreme point, that's not how you use it, because you're going to lose. Because this could stay like that for hours or days, weeks, months, years even, in a strong trend. Like this is only a little trend, but it's strong. There's no weakness. And then the bounce comes, there's the weakness. And if you wait for a 5 or 10 bar low, we then to short about here. 5 ATR stop, which would be just off the page. Get a nice move down. And there's another buy signal. This is a 5-minute chart of spot gold, which is this week making all-time highs against the dollar, which is, as usual, something to be concerned about. It means people are losing faith in the dollar and money in general. Watch out for that one. So here's a sell signal, but the general idea with this is not to be going against the trend. So we're near an all-time high. All-time highs typically are a good hold. Don't want to be shorting an all-time high because the odds are well against you. So a sell signal in a very strong uptrend could be treated as either an exit of a long position or reduce the size of the long position. And here is another trundle. Let's zoom in a little. The Pi trundle here. So I'll click the crosshairs, you can see 26, 25, and it trundled all the way down 26.13 before the bounce. So that's why you're supposed to wait for the bounce, because it can stay locked. So let's see if there's any more further along. Let's just show some that don't work. There we go. So that was a trundle sell signal, but it didn't go down. And there's another one here which went down quite sharply, quickly, and then there's another buy signal. It hasn't done much. Oh yeah, it has. It's gone to a new all-time high. But there's no more signals apart from this little one. Again, it went up a little bit, but not a lot. Now I'm in multi-charts platform, and this is a chart of Google. And this is a very good example to show how some signals are good and some aren't. So there's your bounce signal. Went up a tiny little bit and then promptly collapsed. But this second one, which was around $83, just completely went off the page. That was the absolute low. And here we have a sell signal in an uptrend, which, as I said just now, that it should be used as an exit or a way of reducing your long trades. Pi has got some rules. If I can get the right browser window, there we go. The rules of Pi must be obeyed. Trade in the direction of the major trend. Find a time frame that has worked best in historical testing. Always use stops. Wait for the trend to begin turning before enter the trade. And these have been repeated. Wait for the bounce. Just because it's important. And in a moment, I'm going to ask Grok if Grok understands the rules of Pi. And Grok is AI created by Elon Musk, which is a part of X. So this is Grok. What are the rules of Pi-Osc Indicator? This is what's amazing. AI is just gone crazy. So, 1, bounce from the indicator lines. Okay. Rule 1, get 10 out of 10 for that, Grok. Trend confirmation. It's advisable to trade in the direction of the major trend. If the overall trend is bullish, look for buying opportunities when the indicator signals. This helps in reducing risk. So get 10 out of 10 for that as well, Grok. Experiment with time frames. Very good. Avoid trading in very short-term time frames. While this is not a strict rule, there's a caution against it. That's good advice. You get a lot of randomness when you go down to very short time frames. Pi can be used to spot divergences between price action and the indicator. Some of my customers use it for that purpose. It is possible, but it's not that reliable. Pi-Osc is noted for not repainting. Signals are final once they appear on the chart. Yeah, you just have to wait for the bar to close, and that's it. I get a lot of people asking me, do my products repaint? And no, they don't. None of them do, because that's like saying something didn't happen. Exit strategy, trailing stops. Historical performance check. Okay, if past signals did not correlate well with profitable trades, it might not be the best market for using Pi-Osc. 10 out of 10. Avoid immediate action on the signal. There's advice against piling into a trade immediately after the Pi-Osc signal, especially if it's an extreme high or low. Caution is due to the possibility of false signals. If your trading style involves taking quick profits, it's suggested to take partial profits on the initial move and let the rest of the position run with a trailing stop. Well, that's pretty amazing. That took about 5 seconds to print that. But the question is, did Grok just go to my website and read all that and then communicate it back to me, or did Grok store every bit of information on every website and then report it? I don't know, but it's pretty impressive. So I can't argue with Grok because it was made by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is a very smart guy. This is a chart of Nvidia. You can see there's loads of fake sell signals. And as we just read, one of the rules is to trade in the direction of the trend, which is absolutely up. And there we have another signal which didn't work. And there we have another one which was precisely at the low, and it never went back. So for a long-term investor on a daily chart, this is very useful as well. And you can use these as a way of reducing the size of your position, taking partial profits. Now I've put up a chart on TradingView, and this is AUD/JPY in daily format, and there's a extreme buy signal, and there's an extreme sell signal, and another sell signal here. Highlights aren't very clear. Just make it a bit, you can just see that one's yellow. And there's another yellow one here, which kind of went up a tiny bit and then down. Now this one, somewhat early. It's often early. And it's not uncommon for the price to go down a few bars more and before it really turns around and does something. This is one reason why it's nice to wait for a 5 or 10 bar high, such as this one or this one, before getting in the trade. Here's a sell signal. There was a few more, yeah. So there's a drastic sell-off. So this one we had a little blip down, which wasn't copied by the market, so you can ignore that. But that's a big bar, and I would have taken that straight away here, because this bar's completely invalidated the last bit of upward movement. It's a serious move. And then we've got a buy signal here which didn't go anywhere. So you wouldn't be taking that because it didn't turn the trend there. The signal was false. And this one, again, waiting for it to bounce, waiting for the indicator bounce and wait for the market to bounce. And we went up a little bit. For those who like short-term trading, I don't recommend this because the cost of the dealing, but I've left this on so you can see this is just a 30-second chart of Bitcoin against the US dollar. And as you know, this is in a very strong uptrend. It has been for a long time. So we wouldn't be taking the sell signals as shorts, but more as a profit target or a partial exit. So there's a nice entry and another one. It's actually the low of this morning, I think. No, this afternoon rather. And there's another one here. You can see it working in real time. This is a 1 minute chart of the SPX, S&P 500. And there's a few signals. This one's a bit early and not very good. Sell signal. That one's somewhat better. We had a nice move down. Well, kind of a long sideways move down, but not very far. This one was the low. Very good signal there. And here's another one. Again, it's why you have to use stops. Only went up a little way and then promptly went down. This one's kind of a major low. And then this sell signal comes after the gap up. Important to see. It was clearly detected this is as an extreme position. Interestingly, this is a fractal product. So if you've got a very small range, you can get the extreme readings because it's measuring the range rather than taking the whole percentages of the overall market. So it adjusts itself to the conditions. There's a couple more buy signals. Didn't go up very far. I'm jumping about through different time frames just to give the viewer an idea of the flexibility. This time it's a 3 hour chart of Tesla. And Tesla's quite a spiky market, kind of jumps up and down. So this type of market is generally the sort of market that works well with the Pi oscillator. So there's a sell signal here, went down a bit. There's a buy signal you can just see there, which went up just a little bit. Another one which was a false signal, but you wouldn't have taken it because it never trended, never turned the trend. And here there's a little buy signal went up, sell signal that went down sideways. And then when there's a major one, we had a trundle which was going sideways, and the entry would be here or around about there. Often the initial, I'll just zoom in a bit, the initial move down makes the market oversold in the very short term. So it's important that you've got to have a stop that's wide enough to allow for this snapback, because there's always going to be a load of day traders waiting to get the other side of anything violently down or violently up. It's just the nature of the market. And there's another buy signal here. And then there's a sell signal here. And there's one just happened just here. Q3 deliveries. Ooh. This is one of the most spiky markets. And this is silver against the dollar. Very volatile, very, very difficult to trade if you're using any kind of trend following. Although it does make trends, they're very volatile trends, very unsuitable for the beginner. There's a buy signal there, and a sell signal that didn't work. Another one that kind of worked. This one's not bad, went down. It's a buy signal that didn't work. The major bottom has been caught here, and this kind of minor top was caught. But it's a difficult market to trade, even if you've got all these tools. It's definitely one I wouldn't recommend trading for anyone who doesn't really have a lot of experience. I'm just shifting through AUD CAD. So we've got the low of, that's going back to the 5th of August. That was a nice one. That one didn't work. And there's another one here which just went up a tiny bit. Not very good. And this recent one is very good. It's gone up nicely. Troubleshooting. Now, occasionally, but fortunately not very often, someone will decide to purchase this product and then email telling me that it doesn't work. So you can see this tiny little blue highlight here, another one here. And if you click around, the reason it doesn't work is because of the color is the same as the background. It has to happen at some point. Just change the color, and miraculously it works. It was always working. It's just you didn't get the right color. So this is a kind of market which is pretty good because it's very oscillating, up and down, choppy. So you can just see there's a highlight here a bit early, but somewhere around here you could justify buying that, and it went up. And here there's another one. Again, it's a bit early. They're often early, and waiting for confirmation is often the best way to go with this product. Volume indicators often they come in early. They're not lagging at all. But as Larry Williams said, it was a very impressive comment he made. He said he spent a year studying volume, and after a year of studying volume, he doesn't use it. And the reason he gave was you can't tell where the volumes come from. A huge volume on a big bar, you'd expect it to be like a huge institutional buy-in, but it could just be one pension fund is liquidating because they've gone out of business and the trade has been purchased by another pension fund. And this is true, you don't know where it's come from. So this is why it works sometimes and it doesn't work all the time. There's nothing anyone can do about it apart from wait for confirmation. This time, this is NQ, NASDAQ futures, and this is a daily time frame for the serious people out there. And going to have a close look. So as you know, NASDAQ is in a very strong uptrend at the moment, being September 2024. And there we've got a highlight extremity followed by a big bar down, followed by a nice sell-off. And this one, unfortunately, just missed. Didn't get to minus pi. Pretty close. I'm not clever enough to get it right every time. I first made this indicator back in about 2005. It was just for a bit of fun to see if I could find the exact bottom and top. And could often find the exact bottom. There's another one. That's a beautiful one there. Getting rid of the fake signals is impossible. Don't even bother trying. It's just the nature of trading. There are fake signals. So this one went down a little bit. That one kind of ran out of steam and went down a bit more. I'm going to change time frame. Just pause for a second first. So now I'm still on the NASDAQ with NinjaTrader platform, but I've shifted to M10, 10 minutes. And as I said just now, NASDAQ's in a strong uptrend. So the buy signals will be more valid than the sell signals. There's one just happened about 2 hours ago. Little sell signal. Now there's a buy signal with a trundle. And then a retest. Retests are annoying and taxing. If you're using a trailing stop that's too tight, you would have got stopped out here pretty much just after you bought it. But if your stop was wide enough, you might have got something out of that one. The sell-off was pretty hard here. That one caught it. These ones were too early. There's another trundle, which looked like a good signal, but didn't really have any violence to it, if you know what I mean. Whereas this one had a lot of violence. Now this is more like reduce your trade size, hold on, it's going to go up a bit more. Not any power to it. This one was a good entry signal here. Nice little move up. Could be getting long on these bars. And that was pretty much the lowest point here. Another sell signal here, which only went down a bit. But as you can see, so shorter the time frame we get into, the more chaotic everything gets. And this is just the nature of the stock market. Everyone gets excited. Most people have got trades on with a lot of leverage, and things going wrong like this, it looks like people might be buying here. It starts going wrong, everybody panics, and everybody's finished selling. The market goes up again. That's how it is. That's not a bad signal. So I'll do a couple more, and then I'll show you how you can get the trials in a moment. There's another buy signal. It's a very nice sell-off, but this didn't reach the extreme. It's a useful indicator, but it's not the holy grail. It is my most popular product by a long way because it hasn't got any inputs. It's very simple to use. Most indicators, you've got inputs, length 10, length 5, ATR range, all these things, but this one hasn't got it. It's just got colors. The only optimizable variable you have with this is your own choice of time frame, which in itself is a pretty powerful thing to be adjusting. Another important thing to show you is sawtooth plot here. I put that in at the beginning because a lot of the indicators, if you don't think things through carefully when you build these things, you get spurious readings at the beginning. And it's in the instructions to allow a lot of bars to be loaded before you can trust the readings. This is looking back about 200 bars in lots of different time frames for lots of divergences. And that's one of the things it does with volume. So I put this here to tell you that it's not loaded. That means you need more data rather than trusting the value, which might have said this is the top or this is the bottom, So if you see this and you don't see much here, you need to load more bars. That's what that's for. There's a few. That one didn't do anything. There's a nice buy signal here. This is USD JPY. That's quite a suitable market. This is a 10-minute time frame, and there's a nice sell signal, followed by a lovely big down bar, telling you that this signal is very likely valid. And sure enough, down it goes. But this one was again early, but that was extreme. According to this indicator, that was an extreme point, meaning it's quite likely to bounce. And it did bounce, but not much. And filtering out these is impossible. You've got to use your own judgment with it. That one, so close, but it didn't bounce. Didn't trigger from the low. That one did. There's a little highlight there. You can see the move up was quite spectacular, particularly later. And here, let's just make this a bit bigger. Wait for the bounce. So there's your bounce down. And then somewhere along this bar here could justify a short entry. Can be forgiven for missing that because that looks like very quick. It's all happened in 10 minutes, just this one. And there's another buy signal. This is a 10-minute chart of cable, otherwise known as the pound versus the dollar, named after the great big cable that went from one country to another. I guess the cable's probably still there. Here's a few fake signals, but if you followed the rules, you wouldn't be picking anything up because the trend never changed direction until about here, in which case you would have been all right, a little move up. And there's another one, and a whole bunch of them together. And this would be an entry around about here or there. And then it retested, and then there's another one here, which resulted in a nice little trend up, followed by a sell signal here. There's another one here which didn't do anything, but the trend didn't change. And I'll just find some more for you. So this is the euro against the US dollar. And this is M5 or 5 minutes. And there's a kind of typical sell signal, bounce here, and then somewhere one of these two bars, you could consider it to be validated and take a short trade with a stop 3 to 5 ATRs away, depending on your trading preferences. There's another one here. This one again was early. Could have been sucked into that. Or you could have waited for the next one and then caught this whole move up. These the trials available for NinjaTrader. They're paid trials, but they're not expensive. If you haven't got any money at all, you can get a free trial on MT4, which I think is for a week or 10 days. And what you do, if you want a trial for NinjaTrader, again, go to precisiontradingsystems.com. You can click on the sitemap, NinjaTrader products, and then scroll down until you see the oscillating one, which is here. Click on that, and then you'll see get a trial. You click that, and that will take you through to the PayPal page. So thanks very much for watching. If you've got any questions, just leave a comment.